And let's be heard. I'm Mike G from Mike G in the Morning, and I've got Philly Chris here with me. Quick shout out to our sponsors over at Elite Tactical Armory, elitetacticalarmory.com, your firearms storage solution in the Lehigh Valley. Once again, that's elitetacticalarmory.com. So, Philly Chris, you're downtown on location, aren't you?
On location here at City Hall, my friend.
Now, how are things doing down there right now?
You know, it's interesting. It's relatively quiet. There does appear to be a significant police presence. I'm right here by City Hall. I don't know if you can see some lights maybe here in the background somewhere flashing a little bit, but I noticed at all the major intersections over on Market and Chestnut and around City Hall, there's some police. And I believe it's also a curfew right now. So until 6 a.m. in the morning, I just got a notice about that.
Really? Now,
yeah, so there's a curfew in Philly.
But last time, when you got all that footage during the riots and all the mayhem and the Bruno brothers, right?
The good old Bruno brothers, yes.
But that was all in that same general area. You're not too far from there right now.
Yeah, basically just over this way, a couple blocks. So, you know, if you were to go up a couple blocks and make a right here from City Hall, you'd be right up by DeBruno Brothers Market and Chestnut, the major downtown shopping areas. Yeah.
So right now you're not seeing what you saw on that day over in the
No, fortunately not. No, it's pretty quiet right now. So
now we have seen videos of these riots and episodes of looting going on in Philadelphia all day and all yesterday. Have you noticed any of that on the internet?
Yeah, I saw quite a bit of that. It looked like West Philly was being torn up quite a bit, unfortunately, kind of reminiscent of what happened in Center City there a few months back. Yeah.
So it's happening. It just hasn't made its way down to Center City this time.
Yeah, it seems to be isolated to West Philly so far, from my understanding.
Now, did you see this video that sparked all of this controversy?
I did see it.
Have you heard any of the knuckleheads making ridiculous comments about it? First of all, what did you think about the video in and of itself?
Well, you know, it's unfortunate. Obviously, never want to see anyone lose their life, but you know, given the circumstances where he was wielding a knife and running around the street, you know, coming at the police, you know, it's difficult to imagine what else could have happened. I mean, the police are trained to shoot in those situations, and as you and I both know, you know, a knife's quite dangerous, and somebody with a knife, you know, 20, 25 feet away can get it at you pretty quickly, generally before you could unholster your weapon.
So that's a big one, right? The Tooler principle, something that we talk about in the gun community all the time. And it's not any kind of law or rule or anything like that, contrary to what some people have said on YouTube. But what it is Dennis Tooler basically did this study years ago, finding that man of average size and average shape could cover enough ground to stab somebody within 21 feet before the person being stabbed could draw and pull the trigger. Now, obviously, in this situation, the police officers had already drawn down, so they're already prepared. So it's a little bit more time. But we're talking about a second and a half to cover that 21-foot type of range with a knife where you are getting stabbed. And if you're getting stabbed, you could very well be getting killed.
Yes.
Let's not, you know, mess around with what we're talking about here. Certainly readily capable of causing death or serious bodily injury. And that seems to be where the movements were going under the circumstances. Even for, let's talk about just the straight deadly force standard. We're not going to get into police, civilians, or anything like that. Did he have a reasonable belief that deadly force was immediately necessary to prevent death or serious bodily injury under those circumstances? Now, if you're somebody who's saying, oh, well, he was 10 feet away, that's just ridiculous. That is not realistic. That's looking for things like the movies. That's just as ridiculous as what I've heard other people saying now, which is that they should have shot him in the leg. They should have shot him in the leg. Yeah, totally asinine. Obviously, people who have no idea what they're talking about and no real life experience when it comes to defensive shootings. I don't know what to say to these people other than do a little bit more research before you make comments like that.
Yeah, right. Plus, you know, getting shot in the leg, there's a lot of arteries, so it's still, you know, deadly
It is still
potentially
deadly force.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
absolutely right.
yeah,
You know, we're talking about the definition of deadly force under Pennsylvania law. Any type of force that's readily capable of causing death or serious bodily injury. Shooting somebody in the leg is certainly readily capable of causing death or serious bodily injury, right? Prolonged loss of the use of that limb qualifies as serious bodily injury. So it's all the same legally speaking, but practically speaking, it's not something that people want to use in a defensive situation. And it's just not
right.
realistic to expect to hit somebody in the leg as they're approaching. So hit a leg, a moving target in a situation like that, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I agree with you. It is unfortunate, but at a common sense level, what do we expect is going to happen in these situations? What do we expect is going to happen? People got to understand that I go up against the police for a living in court. That's what I do. I'm constantly opposing the state police in my career as an attorney who represents law-abiding gun owners and people who are trying to restore their gun rights, as either state police or local police, and many criminal actions in the criminal context. So if you say, he's just going to go on the side of the police no matter what, you got the wrong guy here. I'm sorry, you got the wrong guy.
Definitely got the wrong lawyer for that. Yeah. I kind of feel like it's just almost an excuse, really, because how can you justify the looting and all this stuff over, what happened? And not that, it directly relates to what happened on that day, but he also apparently has quite a history of committing crimes. And, the media portrayed him quite a bit differently. They put up a picture of him from, I think, his high school prom or something like that, instead of the 20, mug shots that he actually has. So
unfortunately, there's a little bit of a pattern in some of these cases,
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry, we have someone interrupting here. What's that, sir?
The Broad Street, sir.
Oh, Broad Street. You're looking. Who are you voting for? You voting?
Yeah.
Who are you going to vote for?
Biden.
Oh, you're voting for Biden?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to tell us why? We're broadcasting live right now. This is Mike G from Mike G in the Morning.
It don't matter.
Don't matter.
But it's because he got to see what we all dying right now.
Okay.
And everything is okay.
Okay.
Ask him if he thinks Biden's a racist.
Do you think Biden's a racist?
Do I think? I know he is.
You know Biden is?
Oh.
Biden or Trump? Who's a racist?
Trump is a racist.
What examples do you have?
How can you tell? How can you not tell?
Ask him if he thought it was racist when Trump said, say it like this. Ask him, was it racist when Trump said he didn't want his kids going to school in a racial jungle? Tell him that way.
Okay. And that's black people.
Did you hear the statement where Biden said he didn't want his children going to school in a racist jungle? Did you hear that comment by Biden? Yeah. You did.
Do you think that was racist?
Do you think that's racist or no? I'm just getting your opinion.
I think it was part of both.
Ask him if he knows that more black babies are aborted in New York City than born alive right now.
Have you heard the fact that more African-American children are aborted in New York City than are being born right now? That's the Planned Parenthood stuff, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, Planned Parenthood. So.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Do you think we need to stop? Do you think we need to stop abortion?
Should we stop that, you think, or what are your thoughts on that?
No, I don't think we should.
No? Okay.
We should keep aborting African-American babies?
You're okay with the abortions, or?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You're okay with it? Okay. He's okay with it. Well, I appreciate your perspective. Thank you for your honesty and being on. I appreciate it. Be safe out there. Okay. Little impromptu interview on the street here, I guess. I'm not.
What I wanted you to do. What'd you think of when Trump said about the racial jungle and he would have lost his mind? I wanted to attribute that to Trump and see him lose his mind and say, did you know that Joe Biden actually said that?
Right. That's good. Okay. We'll save that for next time.
Yeah. Now, Chris, I'm really curious, God forbid those law enforcement officers had been in a position, let's say they decided not to pull the trigger and that man had stabbed one of them or both of them to death. Do you think there would be any kind of outrage in the cities right now?
I don't know. I don't think so. Not the same kind of outrage. I don't know if we would have heard as much about him, right?
Not the same kind of, you think there would be some kind of outrage at all in the cities?
Probably not.
You think people would be out there protesting if one of the police officers were killed in the middle of the street?
No, absolutely not.
If both of them, if both of them were killed in the middle of the street, do you think there would be people out in West Philadelphia right now protesting, saying we need to protect lives?
No, they certainly weren't protesting for, I think, the 13 or 14 officers who were injured yesterday during the riot.
30.
Oh, 30.
30.
Okay. 30. I didn't see
Female officer gets run over by a truck.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Somebody had posted out a video of a white man approaching police and not getting shot.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Side by side with this, saying, this is what happened when a white man approached the police with a knife. He didn't get shot. Well, guess what? Video with the white guy was a spatula, not a knife. Little bit different, don't you think, Philly Chris?
Tiny little difference there. Yeah.
But you know what's disgusting, Chris, is that these social media websites allow this stuff out there, right? They'll allow this to circle around the world and allow people to see this fake news, which is truly what it is. It's absolutely fake news.
Yeah, it's manipulated, highly manipulated.
Yet they're not allowing the New York Post to tweet out a story on Hunter Biden's laptop, which is absolutely 100% true.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The hypocrisy is out of control here. Where is the reason?
That certainly doesn't fit their narrative, right? And I was thinking of giving an update on the show this week, possibly when we have the show Friday, about some funding from a lot of these tech companies, and Alphabet Inc., which is Google, basically gave quite a bit of money to the Biden campaign. So, not only does it fit their narrative, but it's something they're directly trying to influence. So it's a good point that you just brought up, spatula versus a knife, and how can you compare the two? It's apples and bananas, basically, right? And a bowl of mustard in there.
It's hamburger meat and kiwi. It's not even.
Right,
it's not even in the same category, right?
Yeah, it's not in the same part of the food pyramid at all. Yeah.
That's all we got for this one. Make sure you tune in this week to Mike G in the Morning, only on Fox News Radio, WFYL.
Peace, everybody.